Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3. Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two Tired Therapists.
Welcome to the pod. Action. Well, here we are. Hello, everyone.
Hi, people of the world.
What a day. What a day to be alive.
I feel like that's what you say when you don't want to be alive.
Oh gosh.
It's like when everybody says I'm living. It's like when everybody says I'm living the dream, and that's like translated to I want to throw myself off this building.
Well,
like,
I'm pretty sure I say that too about every morning I come in to work and you say, how are you? And I say, living the dream.
And I'm like, I need to restrict the access to the roof, which I have no idea where that is, but
I don't either, but I maybe will find it.
Well, it probably wouldn't be
Thankfully,
hard.
it's just a one story.
I was gonna say it's a one story, so you probably jump on top of a car and jump up on there. It'd probably take you 2 seconds.
Well, we'll go head first.
Well,
hope
for the best.
Hope for the best. Well, how are things?
Things are
How
going.
Are things? It's weird because I see you.
I know
every
we see
day now,
Too
so
much.
I don't.
We see each other.
I don't have a lot to catch up on.
No,
because I saw you yesterday. So
I'm so sorry to all the people who listen to this podcast and you were like, oh my God, their banter was just, that's when Kyle and I would see each other maybe once a month, maybe every other month.
I know.
And now we see each other every day.
I know there's times I will say like, save it for the pod.
You did say
like yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about it and you started, I was like, no,
save it for the pod.
Save it.
And we did save it for the pod.
We did.
So we did not talk, but how are you? How are things?
Oh,
living the dream.
Living the dream. We had your 90-day review.
I know.
I don't know if you want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, I was let go. No.
She no longer works for me.
Let go. It's so funny.
I was glowing.
I know. It's so funny though, because it's just like it's hard to take you seriously as in that way. But I mean, I'm like respectful to you.
You are. Everyone is. I'm sincere when I say the things about you.
You are. Yeah. No. It's just it makes me laugh. I think about the time where I was kind of your boss, like I was your baby boss.
We've come full circle, and who knows what'll happen?
For sure.
You
never
know
know
what'll happen.
You never know.
Well, what's tired still?
I was trying to think of stuff, and I have a list, and my list is kind of like there's one that I didn't even complete the sentence, so I don't know what I was thinking. But I do have one that I just like. It's going to be hard to explain, but I feel like you're going to understand it.
I'll help you.
I'm really tired of people who pretend they don't know what's going on when they really actually know what's going on. Like when they fake, like, oh my, which is something I do a lot. But I mean, my best example is like, you send out like an email to everybody and then they act brand new. Like 10 minutes later, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm like, I know you just read this fucking email,
right.
Sandra. Like,
right.
Come on.
Right.
Like that kind of stuff
Yes.
is tired in my opinion. Like,
Yes.
just like, let's pull
Right.
it together.
Don't play dumb with me.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
I guess playing dumb is probably the better way to say it. But
Right. Well, I'm sure when I send my email on Monday about the fridge, I'm going to get a couple of those that are like,
boop.
Oh my goodness.
I hope somebody recognizes that.
Oh my goodness. So sorry to all of our coworkers, but you're about to get doxxed.
I hope somebody recognizes that and feels shame on the
They
inside.
will. Oh,
Somebody
they
will
will.
recognize
Oh,
it
they
and they
will.
won't say anything.
No,
but-
they'll fess up to me. I know they will.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they will.
I need you to tell me who it is. I just want to know. I'm not going to do anything to them or
absolutely
say
will.
anything to them. I knew as I was opening that, I said, I know this is about to be evil. I know. I told I was like, this is about to go down.
This is going to be evil.
I said, I already know.
I feel the
It was
spirits.
so
I
much
feel the
water
evil
came out of it.
spirits.
Like it's
no. That
So-
should have been what's tired for you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes in that theme though.
Yeah, like
Let's not leave,
they're gonna be like, I can't.
your takeout in the fridge
I
for
can't leave
6
my
months to a year
takeout in there. Right.
with no label.
Right.
I wish it had a label because I would have 100% been
Doxed.
like, this is who it
Doxed,
is, but
right.
there was none. I looked over the entire thing. I even went on the bottom because I was
To
like,
see
maybe
if it fell off.
no, there wasn't anything under there, but
LOL.
LOL. Anyways, what's tired for you?
Well, I think maybe similar, but not really.
We're on
What's tired? It's more of a, I don't know, wiping off your cart handle before you go into the store. Like people
You
will
hate
take
it?
the anti. Like,
yeah.
What do you think the rest of the store's been wiped off?
Sometimes we'll do it if the cart is dirty because you can
That's
tell.
different.
You can tell.
If the cart is
but
dirty.
I would say 99% of the time we don't do it.
I would say a lot of the times people are not doing it because it's dirty. I think they're like, oh, germs. You're about to go touch millions of product that other people have touched.
Did you wash your like vegetables
No.
and shit in the pan? I didn't. We didn't
No.
either.
No.
We never did that.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, like rinsed them, yeah, but like people buy like legitimate like
No.
what is it? It's like I don't want to call it soap, but it's some sort of cleaner
Yeah.
you can use on produce. And I'm like,
No. I rinse them off.
well, it's like
Again,
it's like people who
well,
rinse
it's
their
the
chicken. Do you see people who wash their chicken before they cook it?
Yes. Oh yes.
That's more. That's
Honey.
more germs
Honey.
than not.
If you're putting someone's private parts in your mouth, you're getting worse things than what is on that cart handle.
That needs to be on a T-shirt or a bumper sticker.
I'm just saying, like,
I agree with you.
it's just so funny what people will like. Oh, I'm gonna wipe off this cart handle and I won't get sick.
And you're eating someone's ass.
Thank you. Right. And that's what you're worried about?
I know. I think it's
You're
wild.
about to go in this store and go down this chip aisle where some little kid was touching his doo-doo balls and then touched all the chips.
Right. And then yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm so sorry.
we went to the store today. We bought a Poppy, and the bottom of the can is like I don't know what's on. It's disgusting. But I'm like, you don't touch the bottom of the can like
Right.
that. But I'm like, we probably should
Right.
wipe that down. But
Right.
no, I never. No,
Right.
I'm with you. I
So-
like
Right. Yeah. You all have to stop living in this delusion that you're not going to get sick from wiping out the cart handle. I'm so sorry.
well, and
I'm so
honestly,
sorry.
little germs are okay. It's better for your immune system to have
Yeah.
germies.
Right.
Speaking as a person who was formerly ill last week on my
As a
deathbed.
formerly ill person.
That was my deathbed right there. You see the
But
little
it's so the groove
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I fixed it this morning, but it was like yeah, it was
indented.
yeah.
An eternal indentation. Oh,
I almost
goodness.
died. It was fine.
Well, speaking of death, so sorry.
Ooh, this is. I wonder if a lot of people have seen this because this is.
I
I don't want to
don't
say it's
know. Well-
old, but it is. It is about 6 years old now.
That is kind of part of what our discussion will be today. So today, Jackie and I are going to be discussing the case of Michelle and Conrad. And so it's, I mean, the story itself is over 10 years old.
Sure,
But I don't think the documentary,
I think
like you said, is like 6 years old, maybe.
I think so. Let me look. Real
Would you
quick.
look that up?
I want to say it was 2019, but
And you know, I'm always
Yep,
I'm always
2019.
late to the party. So part of this is coming from a docu-series, not even really a series, it's just 2 parts. That was called, what was it? I Love You Now.
I Love You Now Die on HBO
Mhm.
or Max or whatever.
And so it's the story of Michelle Carter and her boyfriend Conrad Roy. So this is back in like 2014. Conrad died by suicide in his truck
yes.
from carbon monoxide poisoning.
yes.
And the big drama about it was that his then 17-year-old girlfriend, Michelle Carter, was eventually charged with involuntary manslaughter for encouraging him to do it.
I would like to note girlfriend should be in quotes.
Girlfriend should be in quotes.
We'll talk about
We
it.
have a lot to talk about. But his partner,
Sure.
his lover,
Friend, maybe.
whatever, encouraged him to go through with it, mostly through text messages. And it was a big to do
Sure.
because it was sort of the legal question of, can you, through words, make someone
Kill
end
themselves.
their life? And so,
Well, and it's sort of,
mhm.
so sorry, spoilies, set a legal, interesting legal precedence in a way with the case, but
Right.
yeah, it was, like what's, I guess, in my opinion, it's like a limit. What's the limitations on free speech?
Exactly. And we'll, as I think pillars in the community on ethics, you and I,
Sure.
we will be
we will be talking about the morally
ethics.
icky things that were
Absolutely.
happening. Yeah.
But I think the big thing, and I'll just share. So I went into it really knowing very little. Like, I don't
Sure.
remember this case really. I've heard people talk about it, but I went into it being like, oh, this docuseries is about to show how terrible and evil this little girl was.
Sure.
And I will say post, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's complicated.
It's 2 episodes. They're both about a little over, I think they're about an hour 15 a piece.
Yeah, they're not that long.
Yeah, I watched it. I don't want to say right after it came out, but I did watch it the year it came out. And then when you said you were doing an episode on it, I rewatched it the other day.
Yeah.
At work.
Well, because I approved you to watch
You
it
shut
at
my
work.
door and you were like, bye.
I did. I literally did. I was like, goodbye.
You were like, bye.
Please watch
Have
this.
fun.
But that was a part of this too, is that the media really picked up on it and was like, oh, what was her name? Michelle?
Michelle, yeah.
I'll probably call her a different name. I don't do names very well. But they said like she was terrible. She was manipulative. She was
Right.
awful. And poor Conrad was the victim. But as we get into it, you go, oh,
Did
I
you
don't know.
questions for you and to all the listeners out there also for this information? Did you pull their texts, their PDF texts?
Not all. No, not all
Okay,
of them.
I pulled.
Did you?
I read some of them. I didn't read all of them.
Just what they talked about in the
Okay,
documentary.
because you can actually download all of their texts.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there were some interesting ones.
Mm-hmm.
in
It's the texts that I had were starting from like I think it was like June 1st to the day because
Right.
he died in like July 12th or something like that.
And so, I mean, that's just kind of where to start. Is they did not really see each other a lot.
Sure, they met. Sorry, I don't want to tell you.
No,
steal your
please, go
thunder.
ahead. I was
They
gonna go
met.
there.
They met on vacation. Like their respective families sort of
Right.
knew of each other. Like
Right.
it was like her grandparents and his
Yeah,
parents
like he
or
was
something.
in the area that her grandparents were in, and that's kind of
or
how
like his
they
aunt or
met.
something. Some it was
Right.
like extended families lived in this neighborhood. They met, and they were very clear multiple times to say they only really saw each other 5 times in person.
Yeah, like they did not hang out very much.
So this
over
this whole
probably
thing, yeah,
a year or so.
Yeah, they met in 2012, and it was like almost 2
24
years.
Yeah.
So, and they're they say that quite often. They say they saw each other maybe 5 times in person, and their entire relationship, friendship, whatever you would like to call it, was entirely over text and online.
Yeah, only about 5 times over 2 years.
Yeah.
So mostly it was all like it was all
Yes.
text. Like
Yes.
I think they talked on the phone.
There
Probably.
were yeah, I'm sure there were phone calls and stuff like that, but it was very
Right.
well, we'll get into it.
So let's
I don't want to spoil it.
There's a lot. I don't know. It's
I
gonna
guess
be
spoilers
hard.
ahead, too.
Spoilers ahead. No, we're gonna dive into it because there's again the documentary is only 2
It's like 2.5
episodes,
hours,
2.5
maybe.
hours, but they go through so many things that each time you're kind of like. So let's kind of go through their personalities.
Okay.
Like little case conceptualizations.
Oh,
for
God,
both of
okay.
them is what I'd like to do.
Okay.
So let's actually start with let's start with Michelle. Let's go
Probably more
like
interesting.
the docuseries did it. So they make her out to be this terrible, terrible little girl.
Yeah.
And at first, because basically what they were coming down to is that there were text messages where she was encouraging him to plan his death and
encouraging, I feel like, is strong. She wasn't discouraging it in some respects. There were a couple that were like, do it, but like for the most part, she wasn't like
yeah, she was like he had planned to, do the carbon monoxide. He was going to go
Yes.
buy this thing.
The
and
generator
she was
thing.
like checking in like, hey, did you buy it? Hey,
Yeah.
like, did you? And there were times where he'd be like, oh, I haven't. She's like, well, it's okay. Like you can do this. It's okay. Like she was being very like
supportive, I guess, in a weird way.
Yeah, she was because she wasn't like, you should kill yourself, you bastard. Like,
No,
it wasn't
no,
that.
no. It was more like you still have time to like buy this thing. Like
Right.
you can do this when you know,
Right.
whatever, when you feel like it.
You'll
like,
be so, like you will be happier. And, like, I'll take care of your family. And wasn't there something like his grandpa or something? And she was like, well, you'll get to see your grandpa or something. Like it was very encouraging and like weirdly a positive way, I guess. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, I will tell people. Also, what we are saying is not us like formally diagnosing these people.
God, no.
Like this is because we're basing this off of a documentary.
Yeah, so sorry.
So I don't want people to think that we're like, oh my God. And it's also going to be very morally icky. Like this whole thing is very right. Take that with what you will. I just feel like we need to say that before we start like really saying.
But I think it's more of like how complicated it is, how the case is.
I took a few notes, and my first note is, I don't know, she is 17 and 17-year-olds typically don't make the best decisions.
Right. Well, that was going to be some of my ethical questions for us. But you're right. I mean, she was 17, he was 18.
Sure. And I just think if we're talking about her specifically, based on what they presented in the documentary, which I believe, because one episode is the prosecution and one episode is the defense. So you see all these kind of horrible, terrible things about her in the first episode, and then you get to the second episode, and it's kind of presents this like, not this theory, but this sort of defense of like, you know, she definitely wasn't all the way there.
No.
TBD on how you feel about the psychiatrist who, which I'm sure you have a whole section.
Would love to talk to him. Yep.
I just think, I don't know how you feel because you were 117.
Well, let's start with her.
Yeah.
So these are her formal diagnoses: depression,
okay,
anorexia,
sure,
and social anxiety.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't agree with social anxiety. I suppose the first two. Now, they did speculate that she had traits of borderline personality.
She's too young for us to talk about that.
She is too young for that. But they said emotional instability, fear of abandonment, clinging attachments. I
can see it based on what they said in the documentary.
I'm not too sure.
You and I were both 17 once. I am sure you have many a moment that you would be mortified to relive.
Oh.
I can say I have many a moment where I would now be like, that wasn't me.
Sure.
Who was that?
Oh, I would argue that it is developmentally appropriate to have borderline traits as a teenager into your 20s.
Well, and part of the documentary, which I'm so sorry again if I'm like jumping on your little outline. Glee. She was or obsessed about Glee, Leah Michele, and Corey Monteith, which around that time is when Corey Monteith died.
Yes.
If you remember R.I.P., my mom loved Glee.
I did very much.
I did. I never really got into it, but I did appreciate some of the stuff, like the songs and all of that at the time. But she was Michelle was very into that and was like kind of constructing this like, I don't want to call it an alternate reality because I don't think she was like delusional or psychotic. I do not agree with that. I think she appropriately was having like, it sounds wild to say at 17, but she had like an appropriate imagination of like what this is.
Right.
Because I can identify with some of the stuff that she was doing. Like I was not creating this whole relationship because pretty much they were saying like her relationship with Conrad was like almost 100% like not real. Like in terms of like the depth,
agree.
like she felt more depth than he did. But I also don't agree with that because I think they trauma bonding.
They were exactly. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to.
I'll just shut up. Trauma bonding.
That's what it comes down to, and that's where I like how the documentary did it because it started with like Michelle and how she was like, oh, she's got all this shit, but then they go to Conrad, and when he had not some great things either.
Well, I do want to make two notes about her, and one of them is one of my notes. The homers for Conrad, the thing that she threw, that was really odd.
That was odd.
She put on this like I guess what
like
would you say? Like a fundraiser for like
memorial.
Yeah, memorial thing that was like, and this happened in Massachusetts. So like she put it on in her town, which wasn't where Conrad was from. Right. She kind of made it all about her. I hate to say it, but she sort of did.
Right. It was her living out
this
fantasy.
But again, 17 years old, like. And the other thing I do want to make the distinction is she did ask the family for some of his ashes, which I thought was a very
strange,
inappropriate. But also, again, like I don't know that that's out of the realm of like a developmental like 17-year-old like being weird. But
yes, so that was all happening around the same time as the whole Glee thing, where they actually had like, I don't know if they were like posts on social media or text messages.
Like some of it was like Twitter.
She was actually taking quotes that the actress, Leah
Michelle said in interviews
about like, he was my person. She was saying those.
Cringe.
Oh, it was so cringe. That point where I was like, and
I was trying to sit there and I was like, I don't know that I again, I'm not judging her.
Right. We're just saying.
But I don't know that I ever did something like that. Like knowingly did that.
Perhaps. Right.
But yeah, it was cringe. They showed this interview. I think she was on Leah Michelle was on Ellen, and she was just like, I never thought I would have to go with my life without my person. And then she was like texting that to Conrad, like literally word for word.
It was that was where it got me. Like it wasn't her paraphrasing.
Yeah, it was like word for word.
And even when it didn't quite fit, because like Corey Monteith died of like an overdose, she would change it just
enough to fit the situation.
And I was like, oh.
There was a couple
What's that?
Where she would like text it when he was alive. She would text him stuff, and Conrad was like, "What?"
Yeah,
appropriately 17-year-old
but it
or 18-year-old boy.
This kind of like star-crossed lovers. They kind of talked about a lot.
Yeah, like very Romeo and Juliet-esque,
right?
Sort of.
But it's like, girl, do you remember what happened in the end? Like,
yeah, and like
I think even Conrad said that to her. He was like, "Well, don't you know what they like?"
They
both die at the end.
Yeah,
and she was like, yeah.
It's hard because like even like now, like sitting in front of you, like diagnostically, like I do think she probably was depressed. I don't agree with social anxiety.
No.
More so because she was constantly reaching out to people, which like we won't get into the friend dynamics that she had.
But that wasn't great either.
But basically she was like she was trying to make friends, but they didn't really hang outside of school. She seemed to think their relationship was deeper than it was, but then she would use like stuff with Conrad to like kind of like, I hate to use this verb, but like reel them in a way. Like she was trying to make them closer to her when like they all admittedly were like, we really weren't that close. But like, I also understand like her boyfriend like died by suicide, and I felt bad for her. And if that happened to me, like I would want a friend to like help me.
Right.
And like, it's hard because, and of course all these women are like 20 plus years old when they're like, obviously testifying, but it's like, it's wild how she sort of like concocted this like reality or this like story in her head of like how this was going. Like, and the lack of telling other people in her life about it was not shocking to me. They were like, she didn't talk to her parent. Like the psychiatrist was like, nobody's telling their parents. And I'm like, you're not telling your parents that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Exactly.
Please.
Right. But she did. I mean, even with the friends, there was weird stuff where she would be like, oh, haha, you guys hate me. And like,
yeah, it was like,
which some of that, and again, I think, you're 17, but there were
and I think she was really just trying to like make a closer relationship. And I think she wanted them to validate her. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they did, but other times they were like, what?
But I can see where they did kind of say like borderline traits. And I mean, maybe even histrionic of like, you're either all in, all out. Like you're like this friend, they're my best friend. We're amazing. We're perfect. Like certainly unstable patterns and an unawareness with those.
I mean, patterns. Did you have school friends? I had school friends. Yeah. Like I had friends that I really only like sometimes, very rarely would we hang out outside of school. But like I had friends that I just like, we had classes together and that's literally the only time we spoke.
But I think she was just kind of an odd duck.
I think I really do.
Think she tried too hard.
I think she was very lonely.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to sound bad. It's going to sound judgy, but it's not. I think some of the loneliness like she created on her own. Like she sort of alienated herself from people. At least that's the vibe I got from the documentary.
Right. But you get in that cycle of attention seeking alienation and it's just this like you. Do you want
to talk about Conrad?
Yes. Let me make sure. Oh. Yeah. So and again, like with Michelle, she did not outwardly be like, you kill yourself, you bastard. Like,
no.
The whole thing that was, I still think alleged to this point, was when he was in the midst of ending his life.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I think, I'm going to say allegedly, he got out of the car and she told him to go back in. But that wasn't a text. That was that's what they were talking.
That's what they think.
Right.
Well, and the only reason they have that is I think
because he did get in.
He did get in, and also I think she texted a friend, but she still didn't say I told him to go back in. She said, I feel really bad. I should have stopped him, and I didn't.
Yes.
She
did say like I told him to get back in or something.
No, there's no.
I thought she did. I thought she did say like
no. There's no record of her
swear
saying
she
get back in or go back in. She told a friend, she goes, I should have stopped him. I could have told him to like to stop or whatever.
No, I swear there was a message where she, not to him, but to the friend where she was like, I told him to just get back in or something. I don't know. But that's the other weird thing I'll just mention is she did a dry run of him doing, which I was like, what's that? What is that? Anyways. That one I was like, what's that? What is that? Like 2 days before he actually
died.
She was like
she told her friends that he did die.
Like he did die. Yep.
Or well, not that he died, but that she could not get a hold of him, and she was like really freaking out.
Yeah. So you see all that, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, girl, like what's going on? But then we learn more about Conrad. So he was diagnosed also with depression, social anxiety, and multiple documented moments of suicidal ideation and multiple prior attempts.
Yeah. I have notes.
One was where he overdosed on ibuprofen, which
was his very serious one.
You know, good luck, boo boo. But like that's just gonna really like hurt. And I think this says drowning, but I don't remember.
I don't remember that. I remember they talked very serious. They talked a lot about his overdose of like Tylenol, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe it was Tylenol.
And that was like 2 years before he actually died. And also we need to talk about potential trauma that he did, that they did not, that we have got to talk about. This is one of my notes, and I remember jabbing you and being like,
Yep.
So there's a point in which they talk about, I think it's on the defense episode, where there's a police report and Conrad's dad was arrested. And they have is a written statement from Conrad where basically he said, like, his statement was, I was like, he was watching like a game or something, basketball, football, whatever. And his dad was like, I need you to clean up the dishes. And he was like, I'll do it at commercial. And then his dad like allegedly lost it and started beating the shit out of him, gave him a concussion, beat him up pretty bad. And then I guess the dad's girlfriend called Conrad a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then Conrad then fled, I think, to like a neighbor's house or something is what the statement said. And then they did arrest his dad and like charged him with like domestic.
Yeah,
and then
beat up.
And then they when in the documentary they interview the dad, and the dad goes, you know, I don't need to talk about this, and I do it again.
Yeah, he doubled down.
Basically, I was like,
he doubled down.
And I was like, okay, so we're not even talking about okay. And then there's kind of like, I will say, I don't know if you got this vibe. There was sort of like an alluding to like his mom, because his parents are divorced.
Right.
There was an allusion, and I think there was something that happened. Like he did get charged, or like he did hit his wife / Conrad's mom at the time, like his wife at the time, but Conrad's mom. Like there was some sort of domestic
I think there was,
stuff.
He did witness domestic violence for sure.
And so,
Yep.
And they never, and if I was, and I know you can only do so much when you're a producer in a documentary, but I would have been like, excuse me, moi.
Right.
I need you to talk about this more.
Right.
I need more answers about this. Yeah. Like, and if he's like, no, then I'm gonna be like, you are guilty in the court of Jackie.
Right. And I think we were talking about it a little bit yesterday, but his grandfather had died. Or I don't know if he died, but he wasn't in the picture, but the grandfather he was really close to, and then something happened where he was then not in the picture. I don't know if they moved or something, but there was something with the grandfather.
The grandfather was one of the grandfathers was in the documentary because he's still alive.
Maybe it was that
or at that time.
But something happened. Maybe it was all the other family stuff, but like grandpa wasn't around a lot to like be that stabilizing force.
And they have videos of Conrad like talking about his social anxiety. From his description, that maybe does sound legit. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not convinced.
No.
I do think depression, if we're talking about suicide, I do wonder, and that the mom specifically was like, I didn't know about this, but then Conrad told Michelle at one point, like, my mom saw me researching how to kill myself on my computer and didn't say anything. Now I don't think it's true either.
That's true. I think both of them were budding personalities. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to say that.
Trauma bonding.
I'm so sorry. And I think what I want to bring up to you, what I'm very interested to talk to you about, and I'm just going to do, this is going to be my, what do they call it? It's my statement.
Sure.
I don't know, whatever. I'm going to state this, and I want to see what you think. I think if he had not died, he would have been diagnosed with some type of schizo disorder in his 20s. I'm convinced that he...
Is it because of the devil stuff?
Not just that, but I mean, he did have some hallucinations and some auditory hallucinations, but I can't really give you other specifics other than that, but I just have this vibe that he would have had a psychotic break in his 20s and would have been either like schizoaffective or schizo something. Mm-hmm.
When I was watching it, I really was getting the vibe of MDD with psychosis.
Okay. I'll accept that.
I was getting that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what they were saying, because there is a period where in the text between the two of them, Conrad tells Michelle, like, I've seen Satan. He was in my room at the hospital, which again, we don't know. I can't say was like that was legit. Also, he probably was on some type of sedative and or drugs.
Now I did look, he was treated with antipsychotics.
It's not uncommon to use,
which isn't uncommon
for moods. I don't think I disagree with you. I was seeing him as MDD with psychosis. Like he was starting, and maybe it would have gone full blown, because it doesn't, like, he didn't have any of the other sort of like hallmarky, like he didn't have like the negative like affect, like in terms of like inappropriate affect. He didn't have like the delusions per se. Like, well, there was some stuff, but I don't know that it was rising to the level of like, I don't know. You could have been right. Like if he'd lived and then like gone through a break. I just like, he had so much shit happen that like, and as far as we know, I don't remember them talking about him doing drugs. If he was doing drugs, I probably would agree with you. Like legitimate drugs, like weed plus other stuff.
Talk about that.
I will say too, we didn't talk about this. It was kind of towards the end of the defense episode, but the psychiatrist wanted to say that like Michelle was like hypomanic and like manic and shit. And I don't know that we can determine that through text messages.
And that was,
I want to make that point.
That was the prosecution's thing of like that she was taking Celexa, which is an SSRI, which created what do they call it? Involuntary intoxication.
Yeah, involuntary like medic.
I know I'm not a professional, but I have never heard of that. And I think they even interviewed another psychiatrist who was like, I don't know what. Like that doesn't.
Yeah, they had like an adolescent and child psychologist, and she was just like it.
Right.
She's like, it's not necessarily a thing, but like it can happen. But it's a thing, but it's like
it's rare.
It's rare, and it's not like long lasting.
And she was only on like 10 milligrams, so I like don't know about that, girl. Don't know about that. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it shows that it wasn't as clear cut, which is kind of the premise of the legal part, which we'll take a break and we'll talk a little bit briefly on that, but this idea that it's complicated, they both, like to me, it's one of those that like, it's like the, am I the asshole? Like everyone is at the end of the day.
Everybody sucks here.
Everybody sucks here.
I think everybody sucks in this situation.
So sorry.
I don't know that
people.
I don't know that I don't know.
Yeah.
For him, for Conrad, depression for sure. I do think there was probably, like you say, budding traits of like personality stuff, but I wouldn't even feel comfortable diagnosing either of them until they were like in their mid to late 20s.
No, of course not. But I think,
but there was
recognizing
stuff, but for him
there were
too,
buddings.
I do think he was slightly histrionic based on some of his texts to her. They both were. I mean,
yes.
The other thing that's interesting that I'm sure you probably don't have a thing on it, but I do want to like say they would play like these like word games with each other. Did you like?
Yes. Maybe that was another reason I was like, oh, interesting.
I was like, I kind of remember doing shit like this when I was that age, but like
it had a different flavor.
It was a little odd. It was like we were like, it was like starting with, I was trying to find the connection. It was like they were starting at some point. It was like it was like C and it was like cop. Like it was like, I don't know, something copy. And then she said paste and then he said P. Like then it became like the first letter. Like it, but some of them had like a weird connection. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was odd. It was not like, I don't know.
At the end of the day, they were probably both in their own delusions.
They were both in their own imaginated like
exactly
of whatever they thought. Like they were in their own heads about everything. Like it was just like
well, let's take a break.
Okay.
And then I think we'll go through just some of the ethical questions.
Okay.
And we'll do a just kind of the real hot takes from the two of us. And then I'm gonna wrap us up with a gay or straight.
Okay.
That ChatGPT came up with that I asked it to do to
did you explain
stay a theme.
Okay.
Oh, I knew exactly.
Oh, love.
And I'm so sorry. It's probably, people are going to be like, wow, they're dark-sided, but it's great. It's going to be so fun for us. So we'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
It's time for us, as I alluded to earlier, Jackie and I are pillars of our professional careers.
Sure.
Especially in the Department of Ethics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just have a couple sort of maybe thoughts, questions that we could discuss. So one that I want to talk to you about, and I kind of alluded to yesterday when we were talking, and you've talked about in the episode, but a lot of pressure was put on Michelle to be like, you should have done something. And so my kind of thought is that appropriate to expect a teenager who she herself was struggling? Just listen to my
No, I know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to. I have lots of thoughts.
To have done more. So that's kind of my first question
Yeah.
to you. What are these called? My statements, my pundits,
These are my hot takes.
my hot takes. So is it appropriate to expect a teenager like Michelle, who was also struggling with her own, I would argue, serious mental illness, to have done more for Conrad? Is that fair? And if so, what does more mean when both parties are unwell?
Yeah. This is where I struggle. This is where you were like, let me finish. And I'm like, I'm trying to formulate this answer.
That's
because
okay. I told you we were going to play devil's advocate.
Because I feel the documentary made me feel both times was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, because I don't think it is fair to hold her criminally responsible for this. I really think that was a strange move, but I can also understand the family's pain. So I will say I'm on the fence, because there are times where I'm like, yes, I feel like she should have alerted somebody. That's what I think doing more was, like texting his mom, being like, he's like struggling, like to say like he's about to kill himself, maybe, like I don't know, but I don't know that she. Okay. Ooh.
I know.
I feel like also his family missed a lot of signs, and they admit basically they missed a lot of signs. I really think if they were, God, I'm not trying to blame them, but I really think that they did not pay attention to him.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that. I don't want to say like that they were ignoring him. I don't think they paid attention to his signals. I don't think it's Michelle's fault that he died. We don't know what they said. They had 2 phone calls, each over like 40. They were like, one was 45 minutes. The other one was like 40 minutes. We don't have any idea. She's never spoken about what happened in those calls. All that we have is texts that she sent to her friends saying like, I should have stopped him, which I don't know that she could have stopped him, to be totally honest. Like maybe to say like, oh my God, like this is a bad idea. I think my brain lands on, I don't think it was her responsibility to stop this. I really don't. I really just don't think that was hers. I think it's morally icky she didn't do anything? Yes.
Yeah.
And as a human person, if somebody was like, I'm going to kill myself, I don't know that I could just be like, okay, and not do anything.
Right. But you have to remember she was 17.
Right. And so
you kept asking me like, well, at 17, like, did you know everything? I was like, well, no.
But
I thought I did.
Right. And so it's like,
is that,
and I'm trying to put myself in my 17-year-old brain's shoes to be like, what would I like? And then like, this is your boyfriend. This is your friend. This is like, and he's saying, and he repeatedly told her like, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody, don't tell. And so I'm thinking like, in my brain, I would be trying to be loyal to my boyfriend, to my friend, to whatever you want to call it. And he also, like, we didn't talk about it, but there were texts where he was like really fucking mean to her.
Oh yeah.
Like he was borderline abusive in my opinion.
Gaslighting.
Yes. And so they had this weird relationship, but I think I land on I don't think this is her responsibility. I think it's a little morally, like I said, icky, gross that she didn't, shoot a text to his sister and be like, this is happening.
Right. Agree.
But
no, I agree. I think that's where
to criminally convict her over this, I think is ridiculous.
I do too. And I think even from a moral standpoint, and this happens a lot with kids, is that I think a lot of the times kids and teens are ascribed the same responsibilities as an adult.
Yeah.
And that's not appropriate.
And them frontal lobe don't do nothing.
Like
until...
if producer Justin's texting you one day talking about who's going to kill himself, you're ready to go. Right?
Well, yeah, that's
because you're an adult, you're a mental health professional, but like,
oh yeah,
she was 17. clearly struggled herself,
Right.
had this interesting relationship with this boy. So I don't think it's appropriate to put that all on her.
No, I think it is wrong, and frankly.
Yeah. Because at 17 you don't know what to do. Like, it's easy for us to say, well, she should have texted somebody, and it's like,
if we're gonna go off science, we are saying the brain does not develop until you're 25.
Right.
I'm not saying 17, 16-year-olds who actually murder somebody shouldn't be held responsible, but I do think
that's different.
There needs to be it is different, but like there needs to be some type of like distinction.
Right.
Also, like, again, morally icky, but that's your free speech.
Of course, it is. It is morally icky. But again, I think you have to think of it like she was 17. Sorry. Like, at 17, you don't have control over your life. Your parents do.
No.
Like, so you don't, like, we as adults can say, well, I would just do X, Y, and Z. Well, when you're a teenager, you don't have that same mentality.
Well, and I wish they would have talked about her family life, but there must have not been anything remarkable because they didn't bring anyone.
I don't think her family was involved very much.
No.
So yeah, I agree. And I think now if she had been, let's say she had been like in therapy.
Sure.
And had like a super close relationship.
Sure.
And was super close with his family and like lived in the same town.
Sure.
Then I think you could argue that there were barriers removed that you could have done something.
Yeah.
So I have to say it's not appropriate to put that on her. So Michelle, if you're listening.
No, that was bad.
So sorry for you, honey.
That was boo-boo. That was
boo-boo
that was
for
bad.
you. And then, so you kind of talked about my next question.
Okay.
So what responsibility in encouraging someone's suicide? What's the moral versus the legal question of that? And I guess the question that goes along with that is, how much influence does one person have over another's mental illness? Especially
slim to none.
Thank you. Well, and then I'll add to this, especially in a dynamic such as theirs, where it was very like dependent trauma bonding.
Slim to none.
Slim to none. I know. I think this.
I don't think anybody like, and you can talk about this too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I'm a practicing therapist again.
I know. She's a professional.
I don't know that I don't have any I don't feel like I have any influence now. Like that. Like, I mean, I can say all the things. Like, you can say all the things in therapy, but like at the end of the day, it's still up to the person in the seat across from you to like take what you're saying or take whatever.
Right.
I don't think anybody has any. I think people who have influence over you are the people closest to you in your life. Now, I know that sounds like a contradiction because they were very close to each other, but they also were not good for each other.
Were they though?
Like, I don't know that I would call what they had a supportive relationship. Like, if he came into my office and was like, "This is what it is," I'd be like, "Honey, that's a mess."
I would delusional.
Same with her. I'd be like,
"Honey,
honey, you need to stop talking to this man. Like, he's wild."
We're done with that.
And I'd say the same thing to him too. I'd be like, you need to remove yourself from this person too.
Right. Exactly.
Also, I wish they would have talked more about his mental health. Because they talk about his therapist and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck was the therapist doing?
What were we doing, Robin?
Well, and I just wonder how forthcoming he was being with his therapist.
Yeah.
Because I bet you,
because
no, I don't think he was. But again, not blaming him, but I just don't think.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the question ultimately is like, how much influence do you have over somebody else's mental health? And it's slim to none. And also, if you're struggling with your own mental health, like almost none.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't know.
I guess I would argue there's probably times that you have more power and control over somebody's mental health, but it's not as quick of like, I'm telling you should go kill yourself, and then you will go do it. Like
right.
Maybe after like many years of a significantly abusive relationship, or someone who's really, maybe like really has a serious mental illness, and if you had a patient you've been seeing for 2 years that has like severe schizophrenia, and then one day you're like, you should kill yourself.
That's different.
Yes.
That's way different than what this is.
But like, you're 17 years old and you text every day. I don't know that.
Well, and your texts are just like
right.
Cringe.
I think even with him, like I think even if she was really like, you shouldn't kill yourself, like I don't know that that's a legal question, because at the end of the day, like he doesn't have to.
Again,
he didn't have to.
I don't free. Oh God, this sounds so bad.
Now morally
icky.
Morally, you should not tell people to kill themselves.
No, but this is also sort of like again like a free speech. Like this is part of it. Like in in some,
I know.
I don't want to go down
But I
this
think
path,
that's,
but
I know, but I think that's then where people really got stuck because there was this whole concept,
Right.
whether, I don't know if it was real or not, that he got out and she told him to get back in.
we don't,
But that was not
the
really
police seem to think he
confirmed.
did at some point exit the vehicle. They did seem to think that did happen, which we can say,
I don't know how they,
I don't know how they think it's because he called her because
right.
their text stopped and
then
he's
it
like,
ended,
I'm
then,
in.
And then
then
she said it. Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
I still-
I
I
just
don't-
don't. I just
I
don't.
still think even if that happened, like, if she was right there, and I think the judge said this, I think if she was there waiting outside of the truck with a gun pointed at him and she said, get back in that truck, then I might say,
Yeah.
"Oh, can't do that. But she was not there. It was over the phone. Again, not blaming, just trying to understand the complexities of like the situation.
And I understood his sort of like, I understood his rationale because basically his rationale is kind of what you said, like up until a certain point, like it was Conrad. Conrad was making this choice to let's ignore what she was saying. He was, I'm going to unhook this. I'm going to hook this in so it like kills me. And then when he got out, that's when the judge felt that it changed.
Right.
Now, what if on that phone call to play devil's advocate, what if she was like, please don't kill yourself? And he still did it. We don't know for sure.
Is
like,
it still her fault?
Right. And what if she was like, you need to call your mom? Like, cause I don't like,
what can she do?
like, yeah, she sort of had a relationship with his family again, but it was like all text based. Like she didn't know them. So it was like, I don't know. Like like me as a 17-year-old, I'm thinking of like, okay, let me think about like who I was dating at the time. Like, I don't know that I would have been comfortable like texting or calling that person's family and being like, oh, he's about to kill himself.
I probably didn't even hear the word suicide until I was 17.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you know what to do?
Well, and again,
exactly.
like when you're not that, I mean, it's an abstract thing. It really is. Anyways.
And again, you have to operate from, they were probably traumatized, mentally ill teenagers that had no mental health resources.
Right.
That
he maybe had a psychiatrist. She maybe had a psychiatrist. He maybe had a psychiatrist. He maybe had a psychiatrist and a therapist. That's all we don't know for sure.
Right.
But I mean, again,
right.
I'm so sorry. Like, and I don't want to go down this path, but like, hate speech is also protected by the First Amendment. So like, so is this. Like, I mean, that changes when it becomes like you're inciting violence or something against somebody.
Right.
Again, very morally icky. Hate it.
It is.
I hate
and I think that's the struggle of like people were ascribing morals to the legal side, and it's like
we can't do that. We have to keep
it's
separation of that.
So yeah. Well, so let me run through just there. So I think the takeaways from this is that this was everyone sucks here. This
is a very much
major systemic failures.
Sure.
Across, there was a lack of mental health access.
Right.
Because this says, well, I wrote down, I don't know if this is really accurate, but both Conrad and Michelle were in treatment, but we don't really know the quality of that, right? Like, was there wraparound support? Were you just going to your PCP to get your Celexa? Like, what was going on?
And when he was released after his attempt, like, did he do like what you would typically do, which would be like an IOP, like an intensive outpatient where you're going 3 times a week for several hours? I mean, like, we don't know, like,
exactly. Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know. I mean,
well, and then the family, right? There was Conrad's family.
Mom seems supportive of him,
but I still think she lacked the.
I don't think
depth and understanding, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's her
and
fault.
I think he was more with Dad than Mom. I think he lived with Dad.
Yeah, but I think after the whole like beat, I think it was an even split. It sounded, but they never really talked about this. So I am curious about.
And
some
even
of it.
Michelle's family, like they may have been, loving, but they didn't really know the depth of everything that was happening.
No, the text. The side note, this is a humorous thing, but the text where her mom like texted her and she was like, are you at home?" And Michelle's like, "Yeah," and her mom's like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Nothing, huh?"
Right,
I was like, "Oh
exactly,
my god,
exactly."
My mom would have killed me if I texted her that.
Like, this is kind of this sort of technological revolution, kind of, you know, in the 2000s, where there's lots of technology with these kids, all the texting, isolation. And so this, I think I asked ChatGPT to say this, but it said, without in-person grounding, their communication fed a feedback loop of despair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, if we can't even, a whole road to go down is the cultural piece, like the Glee stuff, how she just like latched on to that.
Yeah.
So a lot. So I think at the end of the day, I would really encourage people to watch this because it did open my eyes. Like I said, I went into it thinking like, oh, I'm just going to hear about this stupid little girl who was like a bitch and kept egging him on to kill himself. And it was not that. Like, it's one of those, it's almost like when I watched, and this is going to be very controversial, when I watched the OJ documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about it. And then when I went into it, I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if he did it or not.
Oh, you still don't think that?
I don't. I think
he 100% did it after I watched that.
I had my one client. I can't say their name, which she wants to be on the podcast to talk about OJ, but
I won't say, but hi.
Her and she had to be like, Kyle. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I'm just saying there's a lot of weird things that we have to take into consideration.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I did watch that. We could probably do an episode on this.
Yeah, we could probably do an episode of that. But we have to we'll have to have her sign a waiver.
Yeah.
So she's like, you need a call in. Like, you need a call in option. I'm like, well, we don't.
we can't
record
do that
live.
No, because we watched that with my mom after she got her surgery, and she was still on drugs, so it was kind of fun to watch with her because she was like, I kind of but like it is that was pretty wild because there was just a lot that was not we'll say documented and things that were missed that I think would have made a huge difference. After watching that, I feel more I tilt more towards he definitely did it.
Oh really?
100%.
I'm more because again the legal side of things is always beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, there's beyond a reasonable doubt in that case.
I don't think so. I have some doubt. Well,
girl,
table it.
All right, I'll write it down on our episode ideas.
That's that's kind of how I feel going into this, where I'm like, oh, there's a lot of pieces to consider. It's not clear cut.
Sure.
So, any last minute thoughts before we wrap up today? We would love for people to write in, tell us what you think.
Yeah, and even though this is an old, I don't want to say old, but it's an old documentary now, I guess. I will say my favorite part of the whole documentary was Michelle's lawyer's heavy Boston accent. Loved.
She
loved. And I will say the journalist, the younger brown curly haired journalist was like I liked him because he was very much like I'm not a part. Yeah, and he was like he's like but if you read these texts, it's like a totally different world.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a totally different. And then there was one part, I think in the second episode, he's talking about something. He's like, this is weird. This is really weird. And that made me laugh really hard too. I was like, I don't remember what it's about, but I think it was about the Glee stuff, about how in depth she was
quoting
about all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a good watch. I guess if you are, I guess my suggestion would be like, if you're in a mood where you like want to be morally and ethically challenged.
Absolutely, this would be great.
That's what I would say. I would say that's probably a good watch. It's not. There's no gore to it. It is sad.
It is tragic. Yes.
It's sad for both of them. Truly,
it is.
She did end up. She was convicted.
Yes.
She did. She was actually allowed to stay out of prison jail while she went through the appeal system, which is very rare. And we'll say #privilege.
Yeah.
And then when she exhausted her appeals, they were like, nope, you're going to prison today. And she went. And she went for about a year. She actually got released like right before the pandemic, like literally, I think it was like a month or two before the pandemic, and has been kind of out of sight. I think they got a picture of her in her yard like in 2022. She was like doing yard work at her parents' house or something like that. And she's not been seen nor heard from since.
I forgot to mention, I did wonder too, because I wondered if she had like trichotillomania. Because her hair had this weird little thing. She had like this balding.
That was the style.
I don't think it looked real bald.
I just think, when she was older and they showed her in the last courtroom scene, it was cut short.
It was cut short. So I don't know. That was nothing. But anyways, so I have a gay or straight edition. And I'm so sorry. Speaking of morally corrupt people.
Is this the morally corrupt edition?
I asked ChatGPT to do a theme, because I love a theme. Gay or straight.
Sure.
So it kind of went with the whole like... kind of like texting. I don't know. There's some that are, I'm so sorry to everyone. You're going to cancel us. So, gay or straight? Over analyzing a 3-word text for 48 hours.
Straight.
That is straight.
It's big straight
so
energy.
Sorry. Creating a tragic Romeo and Juliet fantasy relationship over iMessage.
It's bi. Leaning straight.
It's bi, leaning straight. I'll give you that. Writing dramatic goodbye letters, but editing them for grammar.
Gay.
It's gay.
It's
Yeah,
gay.
That's
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, gay
We
people.
are not the straights. We cannot be editing that.
No,
thing.
I'm so sorry. Having your antidepressant side effects become your entire personality.
Ooh, I'm gonna say bi, leaning straight.
I would say straight.
I'm gonna say bi, leaning straight.
Now the gays would make taking an antidepressant their personality.
That's where I'm like, I know it's not taking, but you're like this, like
yeah.
It's bi, leaning straight. I'm more on the straight meter, but I think it could go both ways.
Yeah. Courtroom fashion that screams, I'm guilty but cute about it.
Gay.
I would argue straight.
Oh wait, you said guilty. I'm guilty but I'm cute about it. Okay, straight.
Yeah, the gays are never, we don't own up to our shit. So
no.
Telling your crush you'd literally die without them and kind of meaning it.
Ooh.
It's gay.
It's gay.
I'm so
I was going to say
sorry.
straight, and then I'm like, no, I don't
so
think it's that. That's so dramatic.
Telling
for
your
like
crush you'd literally die without them, straight. But kind of meaning it, gay.
Gay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Being way too excited about the Lifetime movie adaptation of your trauma.
Straight.
Straight, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
I know. We're couple more. Turning a murder trial into a story about how nobody understands you.
Straight.
Straight.
That is big, straight.
That, yeah.
Straight energy.
Over-identifying with Glee characters as your coping skill. This is tricky.
It's gay.
No, it's straight. The gays would never.
Okay, I see where you're going. I see where
gays,
you are.
Let me tell you, the gays, in reality, the gays are very not for Ryan Murphy.
No, he is a little evil.
Problematic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, last one. Wanting to be remembered more for your playlist than your actual life.
Oh, I feel straight on this.
Yeah,
I feel straight.
I would agree. Absolutely.
Because that's such like a straight thing.
Yeah.
Do the gays care about playlists? I don't feel like they do.
Maybe the circuit gays probably do, but
sure.
They're fine. No, we don't. Yeah, we don't care about that.
Because I'm just thinking a lot of straight people put a lot of stock into their playlists for some reason. I mean, it's wild to me.
Well, it is. And
absolutely. So that's where mine is coming from.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So there you go. And I mean, on a serious note, if you are struggling,
yes,
please reach out. We will post some things in our episode info of crisis and hotline.
Sure. Easy one is 988.
988. Yes.
If you know somebody.
Yeah, and you can text them now these days.
Oh, that's right. You can text them. Yes.
But if you Google it, get help, kids.
Oh
we're here. It's 2025.
Right.
There's lots of help.
We can't. We can't be doing these things these days, kids. It's not good for you. So
yes. Well, there you go. Well, please, we would love to hear your thoughts on anyone who who watches this.
Yes. It's not bad. It's not a bad documentary.
It's good. It was good. It'll get you thinking.
Yep.
It'll get you thinking about life. So
we love that.
Well, on that note, we'll see you all next time. Stay tired
and petty.